Developments on the arrest of a Cleveland Browns rookie.
Yeah, that's right. The Browns' second-round pick, Mike Hall Jr., arrested this morning, facing charges of domestic violence.
Avon police responded to a call at Hall's home late last night, leading to his arrest this morning. 19
investigator Gabby Hart has been digging into the arrest report. She's here now with more. Gabby.
Oh, this report is really disturbing. Police say that an argument between Hall and his fiancée took a terrifying turn. At one point, it alleges that he actually put a gun to her temple and he threatened to, quote, end it all.
His name is Michael Hall Jr.
This 911 call made Monday night reveals the mother of Browns rookie Michael Hall Jr.'s fiancé reporting an assault at their home. Hall, an Ohio native and former Buckeye star, was drafted by the Browns in the second round of 2024.
Was there an assault? Yes, there was an assault.
The police report paints a disturbing picture. An argument over a $1,500 dental bill for the fiancé's other child quickly escalated. Hall allegedly wanted her to ask the child's biological father first. And when she showed him proof that she'd asked that child's biological father, but he refused, Hall reportedly became enraged that she continued asking him after he said no. He then allegedly tried to scroll through her phone, and when she locked it, things spiraled out of control.
He pushed her and he hit upside the head with a bottle, a baby bottle. And the doors broke. You can clearly see where he broke the door in. And then he put all her stuff out and then he took off.
The report alleges Hall threw his fiancé's belongings out of the house, dragged her outside, scraping her arms, and punched holes in walls and doors. Most disturbingly, he's accused of holding a gun to her head and saying, quote, "I'll end it all. I don't care." All of this happened while their 11-month-old child and the fiancé's child were both present in the home. The Cleveland Browns released a statement saying, quote, they are aware of the situation and gathering more information. Now, police arrested Hall this morning. He is facing charges of domestic violence. This is a developing story, and we will continue to bring you any updates as we learn more. We'll also be following the legal proceedings closely as this unfolds.